Alright, it's really windy, so I'll make this quick. But I'm in Mexico now, about to start the Arizona Trail. This is the monument for the start. This is the border. This is the partially complete border wall. I'm about to head into the US and right from here to Utah. So this is Mexico and this is the US. Alright, so I'm just gonna climb through this little fence. Luckily, I don't have to climb over that massive wall. Alright, so the wind has calmed down a bit now that I'm like behind this peak. Yeah, and I've hiked a couple miles so far. Well, I guess almost 2 miles. And yeah, it's pretty good so far. It's not too hot. That's mostly because of the wind. It's actually pretty nice temperature with the breeze. And the views are pretty nice. Yeah, all going well so far. So I should also mention how I actually got to the border. So I flew to Tucson yesterday. I had a couple of things to do, go to the REI, go to Walmart, get a SIM card, and get my food for the next few days. And so I spent the night in a motel, and that was all fine. And yeah, this morning I took a shuttle which I'd booked previously, and the shuttle takes you to somewhere called Colorado. I think it's Colorado National Memorial. It's somewhere down that way. Yeah, anyway, that's actually a few miles from the border. So that's where the shuttle takes you to. There's a visitor center there, and you can get water there. And then you have to hike about, I think it's like 3.5 miles or something, to get to the actual border, which is the official start of the Arizona Trail. And yeah, so now I'm hiking north. Yeah, so I was pronouncing it wrong. It's Coronado, not Colorado. It's Coronado. So I don't know what this is. Maybe some kind of abandoned mine or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's all blocked off. Some kind of cave. It's pretty cool. Back on the trail. And there's another kind of cave-like thing here. Seems to go down, and this is directly above the other one. There was like a switchback on the trail. So I'm guessing they connect. I don't know what it is, but I guess they blocked it off because it's kind of dangerous. So it's pretty much just been uphill so far. I don't know how many miles I've done, like 4 or something. But yeah, I came from somewhere down there, like, I don't know, somewhere that way. But yeah, it's pretty much just been, you know, straight. It's not like crazy steep, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I think I still have like at least another 2 miles of uphill. I think the start of the trail was like 6,000 feet elevation, and I'm gonna reach like 9,000 feet in a couple miles. After that, I think it steadies out a bit, gets a bit more flat and then downhill. So one of the reasons that I went to REI was to get this hat. It's kind of dorky, but it's very practical. It's actually been pretty good today because, well, obviously it's sunny, as it pretty much always will be. But with the wind, it's been impressive how well it stays on. I don't think I even really need this strap. It's pretty tight around the head and adjustable. You can tighten it pretty well. So if I had like a regular hat, if I had my usual kind of like baseball cap, it'd be flying off if I wasn't holding it down. So I'd kind of just be probably just hiking the whole time holding the hat, because otherwise I get a sunburn on my head. But this has been great. I mean, the hat just stays on. The only downside is, well, this is kind of just my fault, but I had my sunglasses. They kind of, you can stick the sides of the sunglasses in here. So I had the sunglasses on the hat and I was thinking, oh, they're really secure, don't really have to think about it. And then, you know, I went over like a really windy ridge and they disappeared. So I guess they flew off, which is pretty annoying. It's not too bad, the sun though. You know, obviously my face is in the shade and I'm hiking north, so the sun's behind me. But yeah, it's a little bit annoying, whatever. The views have been pretty amazing this whole time. You know, the phone doesn't really do it justice. So I made it to what looked like the top of the climb, but I'm guessing I'm going higher up. So it's actually pretty cold in the shade. It's definitely not hot. So here's the first sign of snow. Just a little bit of snow here on the trail. Almost at the top of the first big climb. First sign of snow I've seen. So I've just made it over that first long stretch of uphill to like Miller Peak. And I just started going downhill now. There's nice views. Like, so there's nice forest here, and you could camp right here. If it wasn't so windy, this would be a nice place to camp. So now that I'm on that north side of the big climb and I'm going downhill the other side, there is actually a decent amount of snow here. I mean, so far I don't have to walk in the snow, but it's a little bit muddy actually. Yeah, anyway, it's kind of what I expected. Snow on the north side, but completely dry on the south side. So it's actually been pretty cold on this north side coming down. You know, I was coming down, it was pretty snowy and icy, a little bit muddy, but surprisingly cold. You know, obviously I'm high up, but kind of windy. But anyway, yeah, got the puffy on, even got like my rain jacket on just for a bit of extra warmth, and this buff, but it's not too bad. With all this on, I'm actually pretty warm now. Alright, so this is the first real water source on the trail. Pretty good source actually. It's actually flowing and there's lots of water in there. Obviously I'll filter it as well. But yeah, this is the first source of water, and it's like 8 miles into the official trail, which really means like 11 miles on trail, because the first 3 miles, you know, just getting to the start of the trail. So yeah, about 11 miles to get to this, and I packed about 3 liters. I drank like 2.5 to get here. So yeah, there's a good place to camp here as well. Definitely could camp here. It's well sheltered, good flat soft ground, so yeah, good place to camp. I'm gonna keep going, just gonna fill up on water here and then try and get, I don't know, at least another 3 miles in. Yeah, I should also mention that, you know, I drank like 2.5 liters to get here, 11 miles, but it was mostly uphill. Like, you pretty much go, you know, from where you get dropped off by the shuttle, you're going uphill pretty much the whole way to get to the border. You go uphill and then you do like a little bit downhill, you hit the border, and then as you go up on the Arizona trail, it's like all uphill pretty much, for I don't know how many miles, like a decent amount, because you know, you're gaining like 3,000 feet of elevation at least, and then plus the elevation of the first few miles just getting to the trail. So yeah, it's a lot of uphill. It wasn't super hot as well. It was kind of hot at the beginning, but with the wind, it wasn't crazy hot. If it was super hot, I probably would have needed more water, honestly. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I'm pretty well hydrated. So it's a lot warmer now that I'm on the sunny side, and I guess I'm a bit lower elevation as well, but mostly it's the sun. Yeah, definitely warmed up a lot. It was only cold for like, I don't know, an hour on trail or something. Yeah, it's not bad now. Decided to set up camp. I'm still actually at pretty high elevation, but I'm out of the wind and also still light out. I figured I'd take it easy today, you know, kind of not go super far and also not do any like night hiking. But yeah, I'm at like maybe mile 11 on trail, which means like 14 miles today, which isn't very far, but obviously it was a late start, so it's good to take it easy on the first day as well anyway. But yeah, it took a while to find a spot like on the side of this ridge which is out of the wind, because there were tons of nice spots, flat ground, but they were all on the side where, like, you know, you just be getting blown by the wind the whole night. But yeah, I found a spot. I'm still close to the top of the ridge, but it's totally out of the wind. I'll show you what it looks like. So yeah, this is my spot. I'm not going to bother setting up a tarp or anything, just cowboy camping. It's just a little bit of a slope, but my head is at the top of the slope. It's not much, it's mostly flat. Yeah, and then I'll show you, this is, I'm like very close to the trail. The trail is just right here, so I came from that way, and the sun just set. I'll show you, well, I guess it's just setting right now. check it out. Might be a little windy here. There you go. I don't know, it's hard to capture it when I'm like pointing straight at the sun. But yeah, that's day one complete. Fairly easy day. Hope I sleep well tonight, and I'll probably do a much bigger day tomorrow. I think it's going to be a lot easier tomorrow, much like flatter ground. Yeah, anyway, see you tomorrow.